It was Reverend Ed Trevor's Halifax, Nova Scotia Church Without Walls. And to general open public, this is just basically a log to talk about Halloween in a format that scares the hell out of people, and yet we're seeing it, and it should frighten us, but it doesn't. Each year, we put up these silly Hollywood-made movies, Hollywood-like movies, to terrify us with special effects and blood and gore and makeup effects to get that edge, to get that buzz, and yet we see the horrors every single day and become numb to it. One of the horrors that I actually watched and got scared out of my gore, I mean, there was a lot of them in the Hollywood format, but come to a point of nuclear detonation, that's another thing that scares the hell out of me right there. It's one thing I'm seeing Hollywood trying to show these things to public. All these monsters coming out. All of our damn books telling us about all these monsters, and yet the monsters are us. We have our own walking around on two legs, political garbage coming out of their mouths, what they want to do, what they're doing, and they should be more terrifying than the Hollywood versions. And yet the Hollywood versions scare me more because of what they touch inside. Particularly a topic that I can't deal with. I grew up under the age. Um, Forgot about the heading here. It's 3:42 in the afternoon for the 30th of October 2024, and the hours are counting down until we get to the 31st of October. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to get this stuff off the chest. I lived in an era, grew up in an era, we actually had the space race and the political race concerning about the Cold War, about the communist scare and everything else being drilled into our heads during those days. As a kid, I'm watching this stuff happen. I'm watching a war on the television about something of a Tonkin Bay, and then I'm seeing Vietnam happening, and not understanding that people were dying in a different country I never heard of, and coming home with body bags and pictures coming up on newspapers and television and showing us what war, true horror of war was. Our own selves going mad. I didn't know about politics. I didn't know about nuclear weapons. All I know was you go over to another foreign country and then there was death and destruction. But I saw people of different cultures, and I went to school with them, and I didn't judge them for that. Just only by the individuals going crazy and being bullish. But I didn't judge them for the language. I didn't judge them for the skin. I judged them for actions. And it wasn't a race. It was individuals. And I had a problem with individuals being bullied. As a young kid, I had been bullied and had to fight back. Then I started learning more about the cultural differences in sociology classes and history classes, and classes at school, and then dealing with the cultures on a constant basis, and didn't think about, okay, well, they're different. One person's Oriental, the other one's black, and the other one's white, and the other one I couldn't figure out. Okay, fine. But, I had these kids around me, and I treated them okay, and they treated me okay, so we had no issues over that. Except maybe one or two maybe had an issue or burped their ass, and that was it. I had to burp their ass with them and about them. But I also started to see more and more of the racism happening these days. I was seeing the uglier nature of ourselves, and then I saw myself turning out to be that way, and I couldn't deal with it. In a elementary school, about to be completing sixth grade, and already I had a problem concerning about Latina. And I was conflicted because I looked at a Latina girl and she saw me as me, not as a white kid. And I fell in love with her because she was beautiful. I thought she was beautiful inside and out. But so the other kids just saw me as a white kid and didn't know speak the language, and therefore they had to treat me with rottenness. And I fought them. I fought. Got my ass kicked. Scolded by teachers. And I even fought against a white kid who broke a toy of mine, and I had to break him. Broke his nose. Consecrated the church with blood, his and with mine. When I was growing up a lot older than that, I had friends who were of different cultures, black, white, Latina, didn't matter in junior high. I didn't hate them. I grew to like these guys because they didn't have any problems with me and I didn't have any problems with them, and we became friends. See, I didn't see about the Hollywood trying to force crap down my throat about who I should be afraid of and who I not should be afraid of. There were things beyond me that were more terrifying. If I was going to really be mature during those days, had I known we were so close to being wiped out by a nuclear blast by a country who didn't like me because I was American or because I was white, it didn't matter what. Just blast me with a nuclear blast and I'd be dead. I had to do weekly to monthly drills in the classrooms. We hear the sirens, we got underneath the desks. Somebody said drop, we got underneath our desks. Didn't realize we could have been doing that for earthquake reasons. But we did it because of Cold War. And getting older as a teenager and knowing that wasn't going to help much, dropping cover. Watching what was happening on television, watching different countries evolve or devolve. Trying to see one particular empire falls, but still retains capacity to be a terrorist. And seeing the Middle East region going through its own turmoil. And that would have been horrifying. But I didn't think of it at the time. No, because on movies, there was always these things you had to be more afraid of. That would give you the psychological nightmares. There was one television show that I saw that did give me nightmares for decades. That of a nuclear mushroom cloud. Living in the San Fernando Valley at the time. We were miles away from ground zero, LA. Hell, they could have skipped it and hit us and we would have been wiped out like crazy. The radiation fallout if it actually hit LA would have been devastating to us. We wouldn't feel the heat blast as much, but maybe we would have. Maybe we would have. And there would have been no way of getting back from that. We had a military base that was breaking down at an airport. That would have been an alternate bomb site that would just destroy the San Fernando Valley and every community surrounding it. LA would be getting part of the blast wave, but not as much, except through San Gabriel Pass. Pasadena would get it. Part of East Los Angeles would be getting it. It would be rounding off around the mountains and hillsides. And that's what scared the hell out of me. That's what scared the hell out of me. There wasn't no alien biological entity coming out here to kill us. Something that dripped acid and wanted to use us as incubators. Yeah, the Hollywood thrill to scare the living crap out of you. When I started watching some of the older films as I got older, I realized how close we were to a nuclear nightmare. Oh, it's seeing the out of space crap, rocks falling down from the Earth, okay, and empires invading anything else, and then galactic crap going on. But nothing compared to what we've done to ourselves. And when I started learning more history of what we had done to each other, that scared me even worse. A misstep somewhere, a command, or a sequence of events, and then we would really be close to it. I didn't understand when we had the missile crisis of the Caribbean, I would call it. Of course, they would call it the Cuban Missile Crisis because we had Russia working with Cuba at the time back in the 60s. After they did a revolution, they were going to be putting nuclear stations, missile stations on the island, 90 miles away from Florida coastline. And that didn't scare the hell out of me because it didn't happen in my lifetime. But if it did, I think I really would have been having conniption fits. I'd watch the movies, try to understand the historical nature of them, watch it for the entertainment, but not realizing we came that close. I finished up the movie I'd seen from time to time again. It still leaves me with me wanting to throw up. 1964's Failsafe. They did maybe one or two remakes of this thing after that. Because I remember watching it on television. They had a onstage performance. And yeah, that was thrilling, but also made me sick to my stomach because we could have come to that point. I mean, 2000, okay, yeah, well, fine, we got our computers during that time, but they were showing what happened back in the 1960s. And even though it was a fictional drama, it still scared the crap out of me. I lived through other stuff that made me more terrified and more prone to PTSD attacks. But watching failsafe of what happened, that still scares the crap out of me. You know, we had our movie similar to that. There was War Games back in '83 with Matthew Broderick in it. And most advanced computer system over there that could think about nuclear war all the time so we wouldn't have to, and yet it would show NORAD what was going on because somebody called in and screwed it all up. Getting through the back door, typing out "Let's play global thermonuclear war," and then watch all hell broke loose. And all the computer was doing is just pretending it's all a damn game when everybody else is reacting all over the world. And then it starts showing what would have happened if it was actually real. But at the end, everything was okay because the computer was talked down, but the message was still there. There's lots of reviews on YouTube about the movie Failsafe. Hollywood made even more movies out there regarding what if we had an extraterrestrial visiting us in the form of meteors, and then we start blowing them to hell, and then ending up at the end of the movie about to be bombarded with them. Not to visit us, but to kill us because of our misstep. I saw the movie. I thought it was a thriller. It was a thriller. To me, I know it was fictional. It never would have happened. But watching that movie Failsafe, Russia, not knowing that the United States had suffered an electronic glitch, but part of their jamming mechanism was part of the whole problem that took out Moscow and New York City. I may have kept watching it from time to time and just didn't try to really let us sink in until these days. We have different politicians in whatever capacity, and even media mouthpieces out there want their own version of what things should be. A lot of them scare the hell out of people. Other people who think, yeah, we should be that way, until we actually see the price of the damn thing. Then what you going to say afterwards when you see everything else going blown to hell? We get into a nuclear war situation. We think it's going to be fun blowing away the enemy. Well, how about when the enemy starts blowing away out of hell out of us? We see all the nuclear technology being recreated in different countries. We see the technologies getting better and better advancements of faster and higher missiles. We see missile systems trying to blast away at other missiles trying to hit another country. Thousands of miles away from my homeland here, the United States of America. And I'm watching the world go hell in a handbasket at this shit. Knowing that we've got ancient, aging nuclear stockpiles gathering dust, but has the capability of blowing ourselves to hell in a handbasket. I got enough problems with the Earth trying to kill me with the damn geology. But human intervention, that scares me even worse, or just as bad. You talk to me being terrified of Halloween and what all these nice ghoulish creatures we come out with the masks and the creations that we have. We're our worst nightmare. We're our own worst monsters. That should scare us to death on that one. That we're that capable of trying to kill each other. And we think it's fun. We've had mad people using different weapons of trying to kill people because they've got this instability going on with them, and there's no way for us to tell who's sane and who's not, and under which particular standard do we have, because we're blowing that to hell as well. Define sanity these days. We don't need the monsters from Halloween. We can look in the mirror and look at ourselves, and we are our own monsters. We had shows trying to show us that and teach us that, but did we ever listen? There was a Twilight Zone episode. This one guy was dying. Had 3 or 4 relatives who were just showing the bad vices of humanity. And before he died, he wanted them to wear the masks until he died. And past midnight, they would see their true face, would be the reflection of the mask, which was hideous as it is. Reflected their own selves inside. That wasn't bad enough. Try watching one episode of Twilight Zone where this one woman who was beautiful to look at for the aesthetics, she had to join a group of colonists who were outcast because everybody else had these kind of weird ridges on themselves. And that was considered normal and beautiful. But what we also saw what human beauty was like, or what we would consider as beautiful and model-like, they considered hideous and had to be colonized, had to be pushed away somewhere. It's more like a leper colony. The writers would come up with these ideas of our own damn insanity, our own mortality, our own lunacy. What we considered standards for this is really not so much. Watching that movie Spell Step has brought up a hell of a lot of things concerning about what Halloween stands for. It was supposed to have been gothic. It was supposed to have been trick-or-treating for the kids, but a long time ago it was concerning about ancient spirits and demons and devils and other powers like that. We're basically worshipping nature in one way or fashion. Trying to celebrate the autumnal, trying to celebrate the fall and the harvest seasons. We're trying to make it natural, but we unfortunately brought up our own superstitions and made it into a monster-like thing. And then we celebrate and laugh about it, our own creativity of it. But I'm seeing the real monsters happening these days, and not the Hollywood version. I'm looking at our own selves. And again, that scares the hell out of me. What happens in other countries is having a drastic effect in our country. We don't see it. We're blind to it. We think we are. I'm afraid if I happen to look in the mirror, I see the mirror. And yeah, the past couple of days, I've been streaking. Actually, since yesterday, I've been streaking. Just to see what my face actually looks like. I'm not quite so sure. Maybe I should have kept the damn whiskers. Show age, grayness, and feeling like I'm too damn old. I'm older than Methuselah and Moses. Not quite as wise as those guys were. Of course, they probably had to have their asses kicked so many times they had to learn wisdom the hard way. Or maybe they didn't, I don't know. But I'm seeing what's happening these days, and I'm already on edge as it is. I had talked on another video, I probably have to make public, about my own nightmares, about my own Halloween, about my own things that are going on that I have to deal with. And the pathways I have to walk through, memories I have to go through with the pain and agony and how it tears me apart left and right. Halloween a long time ago may have been something of frolicking as a youth, getting candy from anywhere else. These days buying candy for baby people who show up, and if they don't, I'm still stuck with the candy. And then let it stay there. And not touch it. Not for a long while. Candy to suck on if I needed to. But I'm scared right now as it is. I'm frightened of the stuff I've got, frightened of the stuff I talked about, of the memories of the experiences I've been through. I'm frightened of it. I'm frightened of the places I have to go to that need to take care of me, but can't because my fear won't let me. I look at something more horrible and hideous than a damn Hollywood movie can ever scare the hell out of me with. And yet I gotta find the courage necessary to continue on. I have to find the courage to keep moving on. Making the hard-ass decisions and then trying to stick with it without canceling the appointments left and right. I see the fear of nuclear war and I'm wanting more of it. Not the fear of it. But if there was going to be a nuclear blast, I'd rather be underneath the damn thing. Get it done, get it over with. Just so I don't have to deal with the lingering effects. Just so I don't have to deal with the nightmare. Constantly replaying me and scaring the hell out of me. Wanting for that kind of death and destruction, that's not fun. Don't want anybody else to go through the damn thing. I'd rather go through it. Because I didn't want to live. I did not want to live. But I'm also afraid of dying because I've been through it a long time ago. What hurts even most is I'm conflicted between the two. For me, this is almost a true horror story here. I don't need Halloween fantasy-related crap going on. I got my own internal Halloween going on. People think it's funny, maybe, for them, not me. You see your own darker nature. You see your own darker head. And yeah, it's not comforting. Some people may just blink at the damn thing or just stare harder at the, probably spit in its eye at the abyss. You know, I tell them, I've already crawled out of you once. I don't need to crawl back into you again. I don't want to die just yet. 4 years old. I wasn't ready for anything of it. I just wanted to go home. But not home to earth. I was home upstairs where I was created. And I'm seeing more and more what humanity's trying to do to itself, both good and bad. Who needs the fictional Hollywood stuff to scare the crap out of you? I got reality trying to do the same damn shit to me. I got people's decisions screaming and yelling at each other. People saying that we need to do this, we need to do that, be this, be that, rah rah ree. Let's throw up our pom poms on that one. Rah rah ree, because it's fun to see someone else getting their face plastered. Make up the horrible things of saying that they deserved it. They deserved it. They can't even come up with an adequate explanation for their own bully shit. And I gotta be afraid of that shit because I don't want to turn out to be one of them, but worse off. I'm gonna have to be the asshole going in there somehow to pull them out. Knowing that the victim eventually may have to have that decision, turning out to be one of them, another clone, or they're gonna have to go out, they're gonna have to go fight. And then I'm gonna have to get in there. And then I'm gonna have to fight. Fight the fear, fight the feeling, fight the effects. And just say no more. Halloween used to be fun of frolicking and seeing the monster pictures, and we would laugh at it. I've seen the true monsters. Look at your regular. Laugh at your regular. But they're worse than a Shakespeare play of Caesar. Backstabbing people. Don't even realize it. It's a horrible thing to look at. Someone could look so innocent, and yet they would have that darker nature ready to backstab at a second's notice. Maybe they realized it, maybe they didn't. But people hearing this kind of crap and turning out to be like that. The elections are scaring the hell out of me more than the fictional holiday does. And everything else that the holiday is supposed to represent is horrible. That's like, give me a break, it's all Hollywood. The true nature of human monsterism. Behavior towards each other, and not just the insane trying to figure out a logical way of getting rid of their pain by causing more pain to others and think it's logical to them. We gotta find the monsters. We gotta lock them away. We gotta do this. We gotta lock ourselves all up. Put ourselves in straitjackets. Maybe trust a few people are going to be able to take care of us. Take care of them among the many. Human beings are our worst nightmare. We have created monsters of our own id. We can write up the stories, we can create the dreams, we can create the nightmares if necessary, but we're our own monsters. Cold, callous, impersonal, indifferent, ignorant, callous, cold, impersonal. We want to be better than that, but I've seen too much. But there are a lot more people that experience it more than us. And different horrors. I talk about the Hollywood theatrical. Other people have been in a realistic. It was like to survive a natural disaster here and there. It still scares the hell out of me because some things I have control and other things I don't. But human nature is the one thing we still don't know how to control. Laws, rules, regulations, people bellyaching left and right, arguing at each other left and right. And we still find a way to try to kill each other or bruise each other up. But can we ever find a way to get past the damn thing? What do we tell the others who've been injured by our own actions or inactions? What do we tell the injured? What do we tell the fallen? I don't know. I thought I liked Halloween a long time ago. I can't stand it anymore.